Man, that shit is suicide. You wanna come from me and mine? Mob like with the ties. We look like. Oh, you some hating ass niggas, huh? That's just what it look like. That's just what it look like. There's some fake ass bitches, huh? That's just what it look like. Real rap nigga, I can show you what it look like. Yeah. Man, I never gave a fuck about a bitch. Why the fuck you niggas talking if it ain't about a check? Man, you boys just wanna flex. I can give a fuck about perception from the outside in, cause I'm steady stepping on these niggas' necks. Broken got a, yeah, nigga, broken got a stress. Always struggle on the road to progress. Fuck it, nigga, I'm a vet, so the kids never press. Killing niggas' pride till they give me that respect. Goddamn, how long can these niggas block greatness? Every now and then the roads through the pavement. See, if you faking, then it ain't no conversation. Took a slight L, now we back to the basics. The game needed, once I'm in it, I'ma slide. New West, ENT till I die. Big money moves with my killer on the line. We don't fuck with your niggas ass, why? Cause you said you love me, but you rapping from the side. Goddamn niggas lie. Half stepping, nigga, you ain't down the ride. Bitches always switch your sides. So don't you come for me and mine. What is happening? What is going on? And what is the deal with my Raider family, man? You are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. Excuse me if you can hear Baby Rundown having his fun in the background, but that's what we got to do. We on dad mode today. But without further ado, man, y'all already know what time it is, man. Today, we are going to be talking about the debacle that we watched yesterday. We're not pulling no punches. We're not making nobody feel good. We're not doing none of that. All right, it's a rundown show, so we're going to give you the rundown on exactly what went down on the 41-24 loss that the Raiders suffered to the hands of Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders. Yet another embarrassment that we continue to, I mean, it feels like, dog, at this point, you know, putting this on, coming on screen, bro, feels like I'm putting on clown makeup at this point, trying to put this gear on. But hey, here's where we are. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get this funky music cracking, and let's go ahead and get this show cracking. What is going on, man? What is happening with my family, man? Like I said, you are back for another episode of the Raider Rundown, man. Before we get everything started, man, make sure you guys are tapping on the like button, right? Tap on that subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing. Also, right, we are still doing a giveaway. Now, At this point, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The giveaway is probably gonna be a Max Crosby jersey at this point, the way we continue. But either way, we are going to be giving away some type of Raiders jersey once we get to 3K, man. So I do appreciate everybody that is helping me reach that goal. You know what I mean? It's very tough to come out here and speak about this team when they perform the way that they do. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna cap. It's very tough. But at the same time, I always say it, you know, so I gotta live by it. Just because they on the field don't do their goddamn jobs, don't mean I ain't gonna come out here and do mine, right? So either way it goes, make sure you guys keep tapping in, man. We're gonna keep striving, keep pushing, make this thing one of the best Raider channels that y'all can find, man. So again, appreciate it, man. All things that are given to the channel, man, get back into the channel. So let's go ahead, let's get these things started. Before we go ahead and get into the weeds, we get to screaming, we get to talking negative. Let's go ahead. Let's start with some positive, right? And start with the beginning of the show, which is hit it with the roll call, man. Shout out to all my family that's in the chat tapping in this fine Monday morning, man. Misery Monday is what we're going to be calling it now because that's what it's looking like, right? So appreciate you for joining me on this Misery Monday, man. So here we are, PNW Mark with the first comment. He says, come on, Raider fans. It's the third game of the season. We all knew we weren't going to the playoffs the first year. Be for real, Raider fans. Now, when you have this mindset, this is how you don't get hurt, right? And this is what we on this show for sure was preparing for. I ain't gonna lie. We prepared for it. I'm not it's necessarily angry. Not necessarily angry. It's more like, I don't know. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. My guy Dre, man, what's going on with you, man? Dumpster juice, 100% trash, garbage. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Nobody played well. There's no, you know, we usually talk good, bad, ugly. There is like minimal good. Is 5% of the game is probably good. The rest, 95%, is in the bad or ugly category. So yeah, for sure. Ass. Dominique in the building, man. What's going on, big dog? Appreciate you for tapping in on this fine Misery Monday, man. Appreciate it. My guy, who else? Who else we got? Lord Rotitas in the building, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate it. Abstract Raider. Uncle Pete needs to demote his son to equipment manager. No, fired is what he needs. Unemployed is what he needs to demote his son to. I'm not going to cap. I don't even want him nowhere near it. Unemployed is where he needs to be. And I'll never clamor for nobody to lose their, you know, the way of making money, their means of feeding their fam. But shit, when you're not doing the job correctly, so be it. You feel what I'm saying? So fucking be it. And that goes for anything. It's not just because it's the Raiders. Shit. Again, we talk about it all the time. Yes, this is football. It's high profile, but a job is a job. It don't matter if you work at fucking Burger King, FedEx, your job you got now, my job I got now. If you're not doing your job right, they gonna fire your ass. Point blank simple. This was happening right now. He ain't doing his job at all. What? Let's be real. The chances of firing are very slim. Very slim. At this point in the season right now, it's very slim. We're not going to get there right now. I know people are asking for it. We're clamoring for it. I don't see it happening right now. I don't. But we'll see. You know, we will see. Dominique says, anytime you hire the oldest head coach in NFL history, that's never a good thing. Only Raiders do stuff like that. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. Now, I personally, you know, I'm not going to backtrack. I wasn't mad at the P hiring. But it's like, you know, we're always doing some shit that's just out of the box. You know, that don't make no goddamn sense. You know what I mean? This is one of them. Being a Raider fan is like being in a toxic marriage. You think it will change, but it never will. No, 100%. 100%. This is where we are, bro. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. And we're really going to get into it. But, you know, where do you go? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, bro, if Pete Carroll and Tom Brady can't even fix the shit. If they can't even get this on the right track, well, shit, dog. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. There's no way that them two type of football minds can't find some type of success here. And if they can't, dog, we just cursed. We just cursed. And we're going to get into it. All you older motherfucking fans that got to saw playoff wins and all that, don't tell us shit. Don't tell us nothing. Nothing. You see what we have to deal with right here? Y'all got to watch it. Whatever. And by the way, I'm starting to blame older Raider fans at this point, because whatever y'all did back in the day, when we was winning playoff games and Super Bowls, y'all must have cursed us, bro. Y'all must have been wilding back in the day, because now all of a sudden we can't win shit. So I gotta blame somebody, right? And all the fans that want to sit here, oh man, just have patience, man. We used to beat this back in the day. You the ones I'm blaming. It's y'all. It's y'all fault, right? Because we always want to live in the past. We always want to find the next what? Shit, Plunkett. We want that's all we refer to. We refer to quarterbacks that played in fucking pre-segregation era. Like that's all we refer to is players that played in these fucking black and white photo eras, and that's all we have to cling to. You know what I mean? Oh man, back in my day when shit cost a nickel, the Raiders were great. That's exactly what motherfuckers keep saying, bro. I don't care anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Bro, we sitting on damn near what, 20 plus years of ineptitude? Yeesh. But tell me some more about how back in the day, you know, all the players used to wear stickum and shit and all the extra. Tell me more about it as we continue to get our fucking ass whooped week after week. But okay, you know what I mean? But all right. Like, bro, nobody wants to hear that shit no more. Who cares? And it's not to be disrespectful, but it's like it gets to a point in sports. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And lately, like my man says, it's toxic. This shit is toxic. And they get us every year. They get it, and we'll talk about it more. They get us every year. There's gonna be some people. I understand. You know what I mean? It is week 3. It is week 3. It's week 3. There's a change that can happen. There's a shift that can come, and all of a sudden the team can be playing better. You know. Later, but it's like there's a fundamental problem with this squad, especially the trenches, that I don't see how we fix it, and I definitely want y'all opinion on that. But let's go ahead, man. Let's get ready to get these things started. So y'all, as y'all know, the Raiders took an embarrassing loss yesterday, 41 to 24. Let's put it the other way. We try to make it sound good, but 41 to 24 is the score. We got our ass tapped. No other way to put it. I mean, we sat here and we talked about how things can change, right? How things can change. Can we be a different team? You know, usually we have this East Coast excuse. Right? Usually we have this East Coast excuse with this team. Oh, man, you know, we're going 10 o'clock game. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, man. Raiders aren't good at 10 o'clock game. Newsflash, everybody. If you're a good team and you a playoff team, it don't matter what goddamn time zone you play in. You play and you win. It is what it is, bro. That stupid-ass excuse about, like, time zones and all the extra, it don't matter. It don't. Because, again, if you're a good team, if you're an actual playoff team, shit, we could play at 10 o'clock at night. It don't matter. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we're going to show up some way, shape, form, or fashion. And the Raiders have had this dumbass excuse for years. Coaches have this dumbass excuse for years how we cannot go to East Coast games and win. Maybe we're just not good. I mean, that's just that. Maybe we're just not good. But 41-24, we take belt to ass. Right? To another backup nonetheless. And we talked about it before the game, and thus the list grows of backup quarterbacks that continue to embarrass us year in and year out. The list goes all the way back to 2018 with Nick Mullins, and now another name is added to the list with Marcus Mariota beating us this year. So all the way to 2018, we're getting beat by backup quarterbacks in this fashion. And it's not the fact that you're getting beat by them, right? Because, again, if you lost by like a field goal and it was close, yeah, a loss is a loss, but it's like, fuck, okay. You know, we'll get next week, regroup, figure out what went wrong in this point loss right here or this 2-point loss or whatever. Let's get back next week, correct those mistakes. Let's get right. It's not that. It's the fact that you got your ass whooped. Right? That's the problem with it. It's the fact of how it looked. the shit looked ugly. It was nasty. Nothing looked good, right? We can't point. There's only like one or two players we could point to and say like, yeah, they balled. They did their thing. But other than that, as a team, right, collectively, pure and utter dog shit. Pure and utter dog water. Like there's no other way to put it. You're giving up 41 points to Marcus Mariota and the Commanders, and it's not like this man is picking you apart. Let's go through the stats, shall we? Let us go through the stats, because the most frustrating thing about it is that a lot of the shit that we gave up was avoidable, to be honest with you. It was avoidable, right? A lot of the shit and a lot of the plays that we gave up were plays that you look and you're like, dog, like this elementary Pop Warner shit. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. Mariota, he only has 207 yards passing, right? Now, watching the game, you would think this motherfucker ended with 400, but he only had 207, only one touchdown. He only threw the ball 21 fucking times. Okay? And then this is the issue here. The issue lies, right? You look at 4 carries, 78 yards. Realistically, this is cool, right? 4 for 78. He didn't kill us. But honestly, if it wasn't for that one fucking run that we gave up, where he broke 6 tackles, wherever the fuck we were doing, he broke 6 tackles. That stat line right there would be way less, because they were running the ball, but it would be way less than that. It would be way less. But that is a result of you giving up that one long ass touchdown where nobody tackled or broke down. Terry McLaurin did really nothing virtually until the last catch of the game from him, right? Where it kind of sealed it. But other than that, Terry McLaurin wasn't having like a super stellar day. It's not like we were looking, and he's killing us for almost 150, right? Okay, fine, right? You look, Luke McCaffrey, he has 56 yards, but this only happened at that last touchdown that he had. Last little gasp touchdown. Other than that, bro, it wasn't really too many plays that broke the camel's back. Well, let's say this. It wasn't really too many big plays on offense from them where I can look and I'm like, all right, man, like they're gashing us here. They're killing us here. It's the fact, bro, we're not wrapping up. We're not tackling on defense. And the special teams made the shit even worse. You feel what I'm saying? Special teams made the shit even worse. They didn't do anything stellar to me, bro. Like, they just ran the fucking ball. They did basic shit and it worked. That's it. Like, that's what's the most frustrating part about this loss, dog. It's like Dan Quinn and them was like, bro, we're gonna keep it mad basic. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't gonna turn the ball over, which they still did. We're not gonna turn the ball over. We're going to just run the football, play smart, play clock. There we go. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a couple passes he goes back to drop 4 here and there, but you know what I mean? Make the reads vanilla. You know what I mean? Make the reads vanilla. Don't have him trying to be Jaden Daniels out there. And that's exactly what they did. Shit is wild to me, dog, where it's like you can just run the simplest of game plans and it works against this defense time and time in. I love PG. I do like PG. But these are the games right here where it's like, why are we not prepared to tackle? Why are we allowing them to dink and dunk down the field like this? Why are motherfuckers wide open yet again? Like, it's like, these are the things that get on my nerves, bro. But then again, we look on the flip side and we say, we know we don't have the goddamn personnel for certain things we want to do. So that's the next thing, right? That's the next thing. We don't have the certain personnel for certain shit that we want to do. If you notice again, right? Where the fuck is number 9? Where's the pass rush? Where is it? That's the whole thing right there. Where is the pass rush? We're staying on the defense first, because when we get to the offense, that's pretty much going to be the entirety of the show right there, because the offense was putrid. And they're more like, yesterday, I put blame on special teams and offense, to be honest with you. That's really where I'm at. So that's why we're starting with the defense, because with the defense, there are things that are correctable, right? It's annoying the shit that we gave up yesterday. But honestly, like the shit that we did give up on defense is correctable. You can be like, all right, if you just fucking tackle that running back and don't give up a 50-yard touchdown, maybe the game's closer, right? Maybe the game is closer. You know, maybe if you don't allow them to get into field goal range before the half goes, maybe they are not allowed to get the 3 points before, right? We're playing soft in the fucking zone cover. See, this is the problem with PG, bro. Certain situations, we get too lax. You feel what I'm saying? We get too lax. We're before the 2-minute drill, before the first half, where we can't really give up no points. Why are we playing this soft ass zone? Why? You know what I mean? Like that's the shit that's annoying. But again, correctable. If we press up and don't allow those 3 points, maybe it's a different ball game. Shit, he missed the field goal and Pete called the timeout. As soon as Pete called that timeout after he missed that first one, I knew what time it was. I knew he was going to make that second one. He gave him time to readjust and all the extra shit. It's not even hard. But from the defense, bro, like it's correctable things. Mainly, that's why, again, I mainly put this game on special teams and offense. Special teams was beyond putrid. Constantly put the defense in bad position. This started from the opening kick. Debo took that mug, almost cribbed it. So from the opening kick, bro, we weren't prepared on special teams. It was bad there. And the defense was constantly put in terrible positions. Eventually, dog, when the special teams is playing like ass, the offense is playing like ass, eventually the defense can only hold so much, right? And we all know we only have so much talent to hold for as long as we can, right? We have to play complementary ball. It is imperative for this team to play complementary ball. The defense can only do so much, dog, before the water busts on the dam and the shit's let loose. And that's what happened yesterday. There's only so much they can do. If we're constantly they have drives starting at the 30, the fucking 45, and you're like, all right, bro, like they're already damn near one pass away from field goal range. So there's that, man. To be honest, bro, I don't think the defense was honestly the main issue. Now, is it a problem? Yes, but I don't think it's the main issue. But I want to go ahead and talk to y'all. I done rambled enough. But let me hear from y'all, man. Let me hear what y'all talking about. Big one of 83, man. What's going on? He says this regime trusts what their sons think and say too much. Spy Tech and Carroll. And it's mainly on the offensive side, but yeah, we're going to talk about that 100%. We're going to talk about that. My guy, man, what's going on, Jay, in the building, man? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Abstract Raider says you can make Dylan Parham a moderator and he still wouldn't be able to block me. And don't y'all worry, man. I was dead ass serious. The ticker's coming, all right, for Parham release in the offseason. When the offseason starts, the ticker will be coming, and I cannot wait until Parham leaves in free agency, bro. And then it's gonna be like the ball dropped for a new year. It's gonna be real, bro. It's gonna be real. Misery Monday, yep. And it's probably gonna be a lot of these motherfuckers going forward if we keep playing like this. I ain't gonna lie. Rachita says, I think we need to accept and commit to a rebuild the right way. No retooling. Get draft capital. Woo-wee. That now this is something we definitely gonna have to talk about a little later, man. Dev says you called it. I think this regime was waiting to insert Kappa from the start. That's a fact, bro. And you know, some people see, that's why I'm saving the offense for the second half, because I got to get warmed up. Because once we start talking about that, there's a lot of calling out that we're gonna have to do when it comes to that offense. There's a lot of calling out that is gonna have to happen. So if y'all don't like the cussing and if y'all don't like the screaming, y'all best to leave now. Y'all best to leave now for the offense get up. Mike says everyone finna call their pops mad as fuck after the show, as they should. Whatever they did back in the day, they got to see it. We didn't get to see nothing. We need Meredith at left guard, JPJ at center, Parham, Kappa, Rogers at right guard. Get Parham off my screen, man. Get him off my screen. I can't take it no more, bro. Now you're turning on the older fan base. Everybody's getting turned on. All right. Now I've always been a older fan base hater, so to speak. I always have been that. Part of it is jealousy because y'all got to see success. But then at the same time, there's a portion of the older fans that be trying to tell younger fans how to fan. And it's like, all right, dog. I don't think you could tell somebody that's been a fan of a losing team for 20 plus straight years how to feel and how to think. I don't think you can do that. You know what I mean? That's a little too much. My boy DJ says, I highly doubt they make the obvious change in week 4. Pete is too stubborn for that. Week 8, maybe. And that's what's going to piss me off. The change going to happen week 8, week 9. What you got going on back here, man? The change going to happen week 8, week 9. And it's going to be too late at that point. We're already fucked off. Pete said we need to keep developing after being asked if he's going to make changes. So we are cooked. Oh, yeah. Flambéed, actually, Prez. We're about to get flambéed the next couple weeks, which is crazy. Give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. Or are you done? What are you doing over here? See, you over here playing. Come on. Y'all give me 1 second. Apologies, everybody. You know, I got to be in dad mode, so I got to go ahead and grab little man. Yeah. All right. Back to it. So, yeah, the development thing is funny. It's very funny, right? I talked about this yesterday with Pharaoh, but now all of a sudden we're hearing this development, but we should have understood, right? Something's wrong with our development as a coaching staff right now, then, because either we're not getting coached right or something. And we continuously hear the development word, but you're releasing players like Tommy Millott who need fucking development. You're not playing players like Caleb Rogers and all the extra shit who need the development. At this point, bro, we've seen Parham at this point. We know what it is. So I don't understand. I don't know, man. To be honest with y'all, bro, they done lied straight to our faces since they got here. Just I hope everybody understands and knows that Pete and everybody has been playing. They played the charade game and they played it masterfully with some of the fan base. But you ain't gonna fool me. And for damn sure, make sure we ain't gonna fool y'all, because they've been lying since they got here. I ain't gonna cap. Action Jackson says, nah. Them Raiders offensive line just cooked, bro. Let's keep it above. No, they're cooked. They're cooked. Nah, bro, there's no other way to put it. They're cooked, and that's why I'm very scared for this. But this is why we all laughed at national media and said they hate on us. See, look, and that's what got to take them goggles off and be like, all right, bro, what is it really? You know what I mean? What is it really? Are we really a good team, or do we have work to do? And as a fan base, if anybody can be honest about where the team should be, it should be us, right? We have to be honest. Damn, that's fucked off. Damn. He has a lengthy injury history, bro. It's bad with him. Big facts. When he almost cribbed that opening kickoff, I say, oh shit, here we go. L11, salute, man. What's going on? Yeah, I blame our drafting. We can't draft to save our lives. That is a fact as well, Omar. And this is another thing we'll talk about in this show as well, because there are only 2 draft picks playing for real, maybe like 2.5 draft picks playing, and this is where we at. But continuing on, man, and let's say about the defense, right? And we'll end it here on the defense before we get to the offense and really start going in. The defense, to me, yes, they were trash in certain spots. Again, we leave people wide open, right? Again, we have guys streaking down the field wide the hell open. We weren't tackling. We didn't physically look ready to play yesterday. That was my problem with the defense, mainly. They didn't physically look ready to play. They kind of tried to turn it on. You know what I mean? There's a couple interceptions we dropped and shit. Like, it's like, bro, our hands are around the football. So my main gripe with this game, to be honest, is not with the defense. Now, I will say this, though. On the negative side, or not even negative, on the real side, we don't have a fucking pass rush to save our lives. right now, there are going to be either some of y'all that are in here that are watching this, either watching the playback or in general just on social media, saying that Max isn't doing anything, Max is quiet, so be it, so forth. Bro, we are right back to 2 years ago where they are double, triple teaming this man because he's the only guy that can allow consistent pressure on this D-line. That's it. That is it. He is the only person that can allow consistent pressure on his D-line. If they stop that, we are getting nothing from Tyree Wilson. I barely see him play. Barely, right? And this is going to go into this theme of this show. Everybody did not every fucking move the Raiders do. We have to sit here and crown and champion and throw pom-poms on and say, yeah, go Raiders. No, we don't. Not every player deserves to say, oh man, this motherfucker's going to turn into Warren Sapp. No, they don't. We can see what it really is and be truthful about the situation, right? Just because they wear the colors don't mean we have to do this, that, and the extra. You want to know why I'm saying these things, bro? And we have to feel like this going forward. We have watched this team lose for 20 plus years. What goodwill have these motherfuckers earned? Where? Like what goodwill do the Raiders have with any of us to sit here and say, nah, man, trust in that coaching staff? Which one? The past 6 motherfucking coaching staffs that we didn't had, that everybody has somewhat shape or form say, trust in the coaching staff? I done heard that fucking 6 different times. From 6, you can just insert name here to certain coach, and motherfuckers will say, just trust blank, blank, blank. They know what they're doing. It happens every year. They get y'all ass every year. Right, bro, to get you to spend that $2,000 or plus more dollars to go see them play for that home opener, though, you gonna go do that. All for you to end up right back where we are right now. So let's stop with the charades. Let's stop with the facade here, okay? Yes, at the end of the day, none of this means I love my team any less, but it means I can be honest about where the fuck I'm at. It can be honest about where I'm at, dog. A lot of people sat up there, right? Now, yeah, the situation was weird. When we released Christian Wilkins, a lot of people, when you spoke against it, said, hey, man, I don't know, man. What are we going to do about Christian Wilkins? You hear a lot of people, again, they throw them silver and black pom-poms up, and then they say, hey, man, but we drafted people. We did this. We did that. We don't need no Christian Wilkins, man. We're good, man. Shit, still playoffs, baby. But then you realize, and if you rationally think about it, like, oh, yeah, shit, well, yeah, we did draft people in the fucking 6th round, in the fucking 7th round. Yeah, that's when you drafted the DT. Again, if you drafted a 1st or 2nd round DT, sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we got some younger talent that we can look forward to. How many games has JJ Pegues played? Y'all answer me. JJ Pegues has played the same amount of snaps you and I have in a fucking NFL game right now. And that's not even to cause disparity on him. It's to say, like, we have to understand where we are and where these players are. Some people ain't gonna want to hear this shit, but it is what it is. You'll tune back around. There are some people, right, that I ain't seen in a minute. Oh, I can't wait till we get to the offense. There are some people that I ain't seen in a minute that then came on here and said, I'm an idiot. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sooner or later, you'll come back around. That's all. And sooner or later, you'll come back around. It's all good, right? Because right now you might be emotional, but truth is truth. We're crowning players, right, that had a nice 8-game stretch for us, and ever since that 8-game stretch has done nothing since. Did nothing before, really. So it's okay, but we wanted to give him Trey Hendrickson money, right? But that's what we had to do in the offseason. We had to give Malcolm Kuntz damn near Trey Hendrickson money. Why? Because he's a Raider. Because Gruden got him, huh? That's why. And now look, what impact has he made? This ain't even none of that shit to say, oh, I'm right or whatever, but it's just being truthful about the situation. What impact has Malcolm Kuntz made on this season so far? You can fool me and say sometimes I don't even know if he's on the field, to be honest with you. Adam Butler, where's he at? Now, in the run game, solid, right? It's solid. But we're talking about pass rush here. We talking about getting to the quarterback. I don't feel nobody but 98. That's 100% truthful. Number 9 probably plays like fucking 8 snaps a game. He plays fucking 8 snaps a game. Thomas Booker, he's there. He's here and there, right? He's here and there, but he's not consistent. Adam Butler, to me, has not shown at all. And because I expected Adam Butler to show more than what he's done. I have not seen that. Malcolm Kuntz for sure is a disappointment. Anybody can sit here and say he's not, lying to yourself. Or I would love to have your type of confidence, or I would love to see what you're seeing, right? Let me know what you're seeing if you think Malcolm Kuntz is different than what I'm seeing. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. As of right now, man, again, we don't have to champion everything the Raiders do. When we released Christian Wilkins, we should know there's all pro talent missing, right? Like there's Pro Bowl talent missing. How do we replace that? I said it then, and I'll say it again. We replaced him, we have not adequately replaced the talent of Christian Wilkins. Yes, what he did could have been weird, but his talent has not been replaced. So say what you want. And that is my rant for the defense, pretty much. That's the rant for the defense, because that's where all of it lies, really. We know we have shaky corners. Like, we know what the deal is back there. You know what I mean? We know Palomal can be shaky at free safety. The best thing that Band-Aid all of that, we know our linebackers aren't really the greatest in coverage, right? The best way to Band-Aid all of that, y'all know it. Y'all could probably say it with me. Pass rush. That's the best way. And we don't have that. So that's why there are times where quarterbacks can sit back there and find some people wide ass open, all that extra, because we can't get to the quarterback. And that's point blank, simple play. Now, that to me is a talent issue. On the defensive side, that's a talent issue. What we're going to talk about on the offensive side is a completely different issue than the defensive line. Completely different issue. And it's more worrisome to me what the offensive line is dealing with than the defensive line. Because with the defensive line, it's more talent to me. It's more like we don't have the guys. We don't have the dogs to really do what we want to do defensive line wise. That's what it feels like to me. Offensively, we about to get into it. Dog. The issue is way worse than you can imagine. But let me go ahead and get into some of these comments before we go ahead and do all this, man. I won't get high on this team until we play JPJ at center and Meredith at left guard. Hey, dog. Shit. You gonna remain down. You gonna remain down for the next 14 weeks because I don't see them doing it. You wanna know why? Because it makes so much sense. That's why they're not gonna do it. We're that type of organization, right? We're like, if something makes too much sense, we're like, nah, I don't trust that. You know what I mean? That shit makes way too much sense over there. We got to go with the shit that don't make no sense at all because we like that chaos shit over there. That's why, right? So I feel you, Dre. I'm right with you, but it makes too much sense. It looks like it's gonna work too good. The organization, you know how we are, bro. We just can't fathom that. We can't handle that shit. So it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Why aren't we playing our rookies? Your guess is as good as mine, right? I have zero clue, bro. Two and a half of them are playing. That's it. So who knows? And then yesterday, it fucking makes it worse, right? So before we get to the offense, let's do this, right? Let's talk about the rookies because that's part of it. And I want to pull up the inactives because we have to see exactly what it is because this is another inactive with that too. Shit, Raheem Mostert and all the extra, bro. There's so many negatives to talk about with this team, dog. Like, it'll have your mind spiraling. But let me pull this up, man, because I want to make this point. And this is where it gets despicable for me, bro. Like, this is where it actually starts to piss me off. So as I present my screen here, these are the Raiders inactives, right, for yesterday. Okay. These are Raiders inactives for yesterday. What do y'all notice? Very quickly. What do you notice here? Count the amount of rookies that are already not playing, right? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Charles Grant, we already knew what time it was. We knew he wasn't going to play like that this year. Caleb Rogers, though, being inactive. Now, you can kind of get me with Caleb Rogers because we can already see right now that Pete's son don't know what the fuck he's doing. So maybe he actually is good and just our coaching staff is so inept that he's just being inactive. That could be the case, right? That could be the case. So I want y'all to think about that. We do have to think about that. Our O-line coach is so trash that we don't actually know how good Caleb Rogers actually is. He actually could be good, but he could be sitting his ass on the bench because the coaching staff is just fucking idiotic, right? So there's that. Where my attention lies is the 2 rookie defensive linemen. You want to know why? Because our D-line coach ain't our O-line coach. Our D-line coach is regarded as one of the best in the league, is he not? So for these motherfuckers to be inactive for almost all 3 weeks tells me a lot. It actually tells me all I need to know. It actually tells me all I need to know. They ain't ready. They ain't ready to take the field. Because again, it's not like we have a Brennan Carroll as our defensive line coach. We have one of the better defensive line coaches in the league. So if he's telling me for 3 straight weeks that these motherfuckers that we just drafted are not ready to see the grass, to sniff grass, that should tell you what you need to know. That should tell you all you need to know. But let's continue, man. Let's continue. Today, like I said, today we not holding no punches today. Today it is what it is, bro. We 1-2, and we are very, very close from this season being very fucked off. Very fucked off. Bro, it's deja vu. I've seen this season play out many a time. We just lost to a backup quarterback. Now we about to play a semi-struggling team in the actual easy parts of our schedule, as some people say. And we're going to fuck off all these games in the easy part of our schedule. And then we're going to go to the back half of the schedule and win some games we're not supposed to. But hey, guess what? It's too fucking late because we done fucked off all these other games that we probably should have won, right? But hey, it is what it is. I've lived through this season for 20 plus years of my life. It's the same shit. Different coaching staff, different regime, but the same shit. The same shit for sure. Dominique says, I've been said we need to stop doing patch jobs and just commit to a full rebuild. No more stopgaps like hiring the oldest head coach in NFL history. I'm with you. At this point, bro. If even Pete Carroll and Tom Brady can't like just get the shit on track, then yeah, bro. Tom needs to just sit there and say, hey, dog, it's time we just go full rebuild mode. It's time to just tear it down to the studs. Facts, man. Facts, man. My boy got to talk it out too, man. A couple oohs and ahs I got from him yesterday. He was hot as well. But Bears favored to beat us at home. That's embarrassing. Oh yeah, Ben Johnson gonna pull out the fancy shit. Ben Johnson gonna pull out the fancy shit for Vegas, boy. I'm telling you, they gonna pull out the fancy shit. It's gonna be nasty. Lake Show in the building, man. What's going on with you, bro? Ain't seen you in a minute. Salute. He said, preach, run down. I would have rather had a young head coach like Deion Sanders with new ideas. Old man Peter stubborn with his ways and starting the show. Never liked this idea from the jump. This is true, but when Ben Johnson got signed, it's like, where else do you go? Now, personally, I was saying I did like Aaron Glenn. Now, they are 0-3, but they're 0-3, but the way he's coaching, I like. I don't know why. The way he's coaching, I like. I don't know who else we said we liked, but there was a number of other coaches. But once Ben Johnson was gone, right, it's like, where do you go? And that was kind of the problem that we were running into. And thus the problem we'll probably run into again if we got to tear this motherfucker down to the studs. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. My bird Furpo says Kuntz not getting Trey Hendrickson money, bro. Not even close. He unapproved a deal. This is a fact. But there are people before the season that were ready to give this man hella money, right? Give this man hella money on a big deal. This is why you wait. And this is why I've always said this on my show, and I'm going to make a graphic for it, bro. We always fall into the trap of the dreaded P word. It just matters on which P you pushing, right? Either production or potential. Me personally, I'm not in the business of potential. You feel what I'm saying? Fuck all that. What have you done? What are you doing? What can you do? What's the production of it? That's where we need to start living. That's the realm that we need to start living in. Fuck all the, oh man, he has potential to be this all pro. Now, keep in mind, he only had 2 sacks this year, but his potential is great. Man, we got to stop that. Stop that, right? Cut that shit out, bro. What's his production? The motherfucker only has 2 sacks. Well, he got to get paid like he getting 2 sacks until you give me more. That is what it is. Or we got to go find other avenues. We got to go find other people that can do the job. As of right now, sitting now, there are 14 more weeks, but there, shit, if you ain't already compiling the list of motherfuckers that you are ready to leave in free agency, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Now, winning does cure all, but there are still some negatives in here that's like, we got to kind of look sideways at. Now, let's get to it, bro. We're going to get to the main crux of it. The offense, right? The offense. This, to me, is the main reason why we've lost 2 games in a row. The offense is to me, the main reason why we have lost 2 games in a row. Hold on, because I don't need no music for this. I don't need no music. I need this motherfucker. We need to go ahead and speak it truth, speak it plain. All right. To me, we lost this game specifically. It's the offense and special teams. These 2 games that we have lost falls primarily on the offensive shoulders, to me. Primarily on the offensive shoulders. Now, we can look at this stat line right here. It looks nice, right? We look at the offense. This looks nice. This looks sexy. The Geno Smith, 289, 3 touchdowns. Oh, yeah. It sounds good. To be honest, bro, most of that motherfucker came when we was already out of the game, right? So we can be honest about that. Most of the yardage that Geno had came when we were pretty much out of the game. There was no hope for a return or comeback, okay? So that's one. He himself, it's gotten to the point where the first game, you can tell he's just letting it go. He's not thinking. I think he's gotten to the point now where he's staring at the rush, where he's worrying about the rush before he's worrying about his reads. And when a quarterback gets in that portion, they get the Coke bottle eyes, bro. When quarterbacks get there, they get Coke bottle eyes, because now you're looking at the rush, and now all of a sudden you got to quickly scan the field to see where you at. But by the time you look up to quickly scan the field, ain't nobody really open. So guess what you got to do? You got to hold that motherfucker. Either that or you don't trust what you see. So you're going to hold it to try to figure out what's a better throw. But by that time, it's too late. It's too late. Now we're running, right? Now we got to run and scramble all around the yard. So he's got to trust what he sees, right? And he's got to make the adjustment as a veteran quarterback to know this offensive line is not playing its best right now. That's putting it mildly. But not playing his best right now, he has to help them out. He cannot be holding the ball the way he's doing, bro. He cannot be. That's just the crux of it. He's holding the fucking ball way too long sometimes. And I'm not going to be surprised if we watch the film and there are some guys open. I'm not going to be surprised, because I can pretty much tell from the broadcast he's either not trusting something or whatever the case. But there's going to be some people open in that in the film. He's got to let it go. So that's my thing about him. Right. That's my thing about him. He's not trusting what he's seeing. Can he make that adjustment? I would hope so. He was playing with a shitty offensive line last year. So hopefully Geno can just make that adjustment and understand what he needs to do, because he probably thought this offensive line would be better than it was, so he can play different. But now he's got to revert back to Seattle shit, which let's hope that doesn't revert back to more interceptions and bad habits. But we'll revisit that bridge when we get there. As of right now, we just got to get the motherfucking ball out. So there's that, right? Now, the main topic. Ashton Jeanty, 17 for 63. We're getting better with our average, 3.7. I'm not, when it comes to him, dog, I don't really care about, what he does anymore. And it's not even negatively. I mean it in the fact of, like, I am pretty much cemented in the fact that I think he's going to be a good player. Do I think he's ever going to be the elite, you know, generational running back that everybody's saying he was? No. But I do think he will be a good player, a very good player, right? I do think he will be that. So now, like, tripping about what he is or what he can do, I don't care about that. We won't have this conversation anymore on this show about what he can do, the ceiling, whatever the case. I'm pretty comfortable in what he is as a player. So not mad at that. Now, at the beginning of the game, I will say this and what he does need to do going forward, because he is a rookie and there are, of course, things we can learn from. What he needs to do is start the games faster. What I mean by that is when he's starting the game, he did it last week. He definitely did it this week. He's fucking tiptoeing, right? He's getting to the line and he's trying to pick and choose which hole he can go through, right? But we can't do that. We're not, number one, we're not Le'Veon Bell. Number two, we don't have the fucking offensive line to have the luxury to pick and choose our hole. We can't do that. This offensive line is garbage. So instead of him tiptoeing, figuring out which hole is the best one to go through, and bro, he needs to just go, right? And we can see it when he gets his rhythm, when Genty get his rhythm, and when he's just going, we can see it, right? That's when he start going downhill, motherfuckers start getting ran over, right? Okay, he started making his little moves. All right, boom. We can see him in his rhythm. We need to start the game off like that, dog. We don't have the luxury to pick and choose what hole we can go through because this offensive line is so goddamn garbage. Perfect shit. I've always said this. You give me 6 runs with a shitty offensive line, right? This is why I'm saying. You give me 6 runs with a shitty offensive line, 4 of those runs are probably going to be fucked off because the offensive line is not going to block correctly. 4 of those runs are probably not going to go right. Somebody's going to miss an assignment. Somebody's going to get bull rushed in the backfield, and the run is going to get blown up. But 2 of those, they're going to block it just right. They're going to block it perfectly, right? But guess what? Out of those 6, you don't know which 2 the O-line are going to block correctly. It can be on the first run. It can be on the last one. It can be in the middle. You just don't know which ones they're going to do. So in that regard, as the running back behind a shitty offensive line, you got to hit every single run like this motherfucker's going to break because you just don't know. You have no idea, right? You have no idea who's going to do their job and who's not. So from the opening snap, dog, I would like to see him just go. You feel what I'm saying? Don't give it no luxury where you're sitting in the backfield and people are catching you in the backfield with your feet stopped. No, just go. So that's kind of my only gripe with him. Other than that, pass protection still needs work. You know what I mean? We're still going to go through that because people are going to continue to keep blitzing their linebackers until we figure out or until we show we can block that up. So that's a thing. But to the main point in the main topic of why we are ass, right? And before we get into that, man, let me get into everybody what we talking about. I don't understand. Look, number one, like I'm glad Charger fans are having their day in the sun. Well, I'm not glad about it, but y'all having y'all day in the sun. But I don't understand why, like, Charger fans feel the need to go into other podcasts. Maybe because y'all podcasts are so shitty, like y'all can't go into that one. But they have the need to go into like Raider podcasts and shit and like Chargers. Like they can't go into their own shit and celebrate. But it's probably because their own shit is trash. So I understand at that point. Y'all want to come and feel some actual vibes. So I get you. VBZ says, I don't think the NFL is compatible with Vegas in degenerate life. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't say that. I think we just fucking suck. I mean, I think that's just it. Anyone here trust Pete Son to develop Laki Tassi? Woo-wee. Hey, I'd rather trust his rugby coaches from back where he's from rather than fucking Brennan Carroll at this point to develop Laki Tassi. Bring over his rugby coaches from from cross yonder, right? Bring them over here. Let them develop him. I don't give a fuck what Brennan Carroll is saying right now. He obviously can't do his job. Yes, we're almost at the brink of the season going into the toilet. Yep. You're a Raider fan. You can feel it. You can feel it. Rodgers did good in the preseason. He should get some reps, see how good he really is against real NFL caliber players. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's what I'm saying, man. Exactly. They're not good enough for background music. We can't do that. Now, I will say this, because we're gonna talk about this shitty portion of it right now, and then we'll get into some good because I want to save it for last because this is my guy at the end. So I wanted to save it for last anyway. But this is the main point and topic that I wanted to bring up, and this is why I'm very worried for the continuation of the season. Now, we talked about defense, right? We talked about defense. I personally feel that the main talent on the defensive line is talent, right? That's the main issue, right? That's the main issue of the defensive line, talent. We don't have the guys. So in that regard, in the offseason, we need to focus heavily, free agency, right? And the draft on them trenches for sure. But I just mainly think it's talent. We don't have the guys to do what we want to do on the defensive line. The issue with the offensive line is not talent, right? Yeah, like, yeah, we can definitely get some people, like, and we can definitely get better people for sure. But the main and the worst issue is we are just fucking soft. That's the problem. And sad enough, ladies and gents, it's very hard to fix soft. I mean, hey, say what you want to say, dog. It is a challenge to fix a person who is just, for lack of better words, a bitch. For lack of better words, when we get in the trenches, we hoe up, we tuck tail, and it's happened every single week to this point, and it will happen again this week. You're kidding yourselves if you don't think against some of these D lines that we're supposed to be about to go against, we're gonna get worked in that interior. Again, Parham worked again, right? I mean, now we talked about it yesterday. I seen people rationalize it. I slept on it, right? Maybe putting Parham back to right guard, saying that he was better at right guard when he first got in here, right? And that goes to the development of the Raiders and all the extra, right? And that's a whole different conversation that we can get into. But it's to this point now, bro. Again, I've said it all the time. I've slept on it, and I'm going to fall into this conclusion. We're in year 4. This is the fucking 6th position change I have heard from Dylan Parham in his short career, right? Now, can you blame the Raiders to say, like, oh, yeah, man, like they took him from right guard and they moved him and they started fucking his development off? Like, yeah, sure. You can say that, right? But, like, when are we just going to say, like, a dog is a dog? A motherfucker that can play, right? And then sometimes, like, yeah, better position fits work, right? Better position fits work. So, okay, for example, when we did it with JPJ, right? He moved to center. He looked better. We moved Dylan Parham to left guard. That didn't work, right? Moved him to right guard again last year, if I'm not mistaken. That didn't work. Remember, he was bad last year, got hurt, and that's how fucking Meredith even got in to begin with last year. That's how Meredith even got on our minds, because Parham sucked and he was hurt. So moved him there. Guess what, ladies and gents? Where is he playing again this year? Oh, yeah, that's right. Left. 4 years, 4 different changes, and not one of them this motherfucker has looked good at. Not one. So when are we just going to sit here and just admit that he just fucking sucks? He's trash. Say what you want. I don't give a fuck who hears it. I don't give a fuck who says it. Because, yeah, oh, you're not in the league. You don't know what I'm doing. I don't give a fuck, bro. All I know is when it comes to doing jobs, I'm doing my job a hell of a lot better than some motherfuckers is doing it right now. Point blank, simple, plain. It's all a job at the end of the day. All I know is you ain't doing your job. It ain't my fault. Your job is in full fucking display. So there we go right there, bro. This man has flip-flopped all over this fucking offensive interior. And not one position he has grasped onto. So, yes, I cannot wait until he leaves. It's time to let that experiment die. Maybe he can be better in a better scheme somewhere else. Maybe a change of scenery would be better for Dylan Parham. Maybe that would be the case. right? But here, right now, he is not good for what the Raiders need. Point blank, period. And the frustrating part is he's going to continue to play. He's going to continue to play. They're not going to make that change. And when they do, it's going to be too late, right? Let's move over to Meredith. Snap still fucked off. Still looks uncomfortable at center. But this is where now, y'all didn't think some of y'all, as far as fans, I was going to get on y'all. Y'all thought y'all was safe? Wrong. Some of you motherfuckers in here, right, I have to call attention to as well. You have to call attention to as well. First of all, I just talked about the running backs, and I didn't even bring up my main topic, dog. For all my people that be in here all the time, bro, where is Money Chuck at? Where is he? I haven't seen Money Chuck or certain type of people in this chat for a while. Where'd they go? Right? All of a sudden, when the running backs do get flip-flopped, when them motherfuckers do get interchanged, right? They quiet as a church mouse. Where did Money Chuck go? Somebody find him for me, bro. Put him on a milk carton. Tell him to come back and let's revisit what he was saying before. That's what I want. That's why I'm never going to trip about some of y'all that come in here and get emotional and say, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. You'll be back, or you won't be back again, but you know exactly what time it is, dog. So I'm waiting to find him. I want him to be back, right? Where are some of the people that came in here when I was sitting here either on Twitter or either some of my guys were saying it too, right? Whoever sat here and opposed the move from center to guard for JPJ, when you opposed it, you were a fucking idiot. You didn't know what you were doing. You sat there and then you had people saying, Pete Carroll knows what he's doing more than you. I would trust in Pete Carroll more than I would trust in you. Oh, he knows what he's doing. That's how you fucking sound. Stupid. Dumb. Again, not every move must be championed by the goddamn fan base. We don't have to sit here and shake ass and throw pom-poms for the Raiders because they did something. No, right? When you feel something is off, yes, you should speak on it. You should have an opinion about it because this team has lost for 20 plus years. Not one of you can sit here and govern how somebody else feels about this organization. Good, bad, or indifferent. We have been shitty for 20 plus years. So when we make a move that's head scratching, no, I'm not going to sit here and trust in the coaching staff. Again, which one? Because some of you that sat there and said that in the spring about Meredith and JPJ probably said that same dumb shit when McDaniels was here. Or before that. Shit, even Jack Del Rio, Gruden. Some of y'all were saying it then, but you'll deny it now because there's no evidence of you, right? There's no evidence of you doing that. But see, this is the thing. That's before I was on this motherfucker. You can't hide no more. Some of y'all motherfuckers can't hide no more, dog. We're not doing that no more. I will take it upon myself to change some of the fuckery that goes on within this fan base. Not happening, dog. Some of y'all that came out here and oh, man, I'm a trust in the coaches. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. If they think that JPJ is better at guard, then he's better. Some of you just want to parrot shit and don't have an opinion of your own. How does that look now? How you feel now? I would love to know from some of y'all that were so strong, opinionated on what Pete Carroll and them were doing. I would love to know it because you quiet as a church mouse now because you knew and you know this shit is fucking stupid. You know it's fucking stupid what they're doing with JPJ. It's dumb. You just don't want to admit it because of this shit. You don't want to admit it because you're wearing this shit every day. You put the clown makeup on, we put the clown suit on, and we wear our Raider shit proud, but you don't want to admit that what they're doing makes no logical football sense. Again, I came out here and told y'all they're waiting to do some stupid shit with Alex Kappa. You want to know why? What other depth chart in the NFL says or on it? Where? What other depth chart in the NFL for these 32 teams would fuck around and sit there and say or before the season? Alex Kappa or JPJ. And y'all should have known something was up when Kappa didn't fucking practice for I don't know how long. And he still was in the rotation to try to get starting right guard snaps. They have been waiting to do this since training camp. Open your eyes. These motherfuckers have been waiting to do this. I don't know what the deal is with JPJ. None of us know. We have zero clue. I intend to find out, but we have zero clue. So, and you want to know why it was confirmed yesterday? The first fucking thing Pete says out his mouth and says, man, well, you know, he played on Thursday, so we wanted to keep the continuity and all that extra shit. That should tell you all you need to know, bro. Tell you all you need to know. And then he sat there and said, the competition goes on. If that don't tell you what you need to hear, these motherfuckers are playing around, bro. They're fucking playing Madden up there. They playing Madden. They playing Russian roulette with the offensive line. But we still think shit's fine and dandy? You think you can just make a fucking center change and a guard change and all of a sudden, just like that, the offensive line goes to top 10? No. If we make the change, now that's another 2 weeks that we probably have to wait for them to gel, for them to get right. But here we are. Right? All the head-scratching moves that make no sense. And this all falls back. And I hate to fall it back, but this all falls back to spring. It falls back to the spring, right? Now, I'm not, again, y'all heard me what I said about Genty already. So don't nobody misconstrue my words. Because at this point right now, I'm in mode right now. I'm in rhythm. If you misconstrue my words, I'm kicking you the fuck out of here. I'm telling you right now, bro, don't. Y'all heard what I said about Genty. I think he's going to be a good player. I'm not tripping about him no more. He's here. It is what it is. There are certain things he can work on, but I think he will be a good player. But this goes back into the spring because, again, I'm still on some of y'all fans, when none of y'all wanted to hear another opinion other than Genty. It goes back to this. This is what the fuck some of us were talking about, cautioning. Yes, we can take the running back, but what does it solve? What does it do? Right? Like, again, a running back only enhances the running game. He is dependent upon 5 other men that are right there in front of him. So some of us, maybe I wasn't all the way with an offensive lineman, but I know I came out here and said, I understand it. I get it if they do it. Why? Because the trenches are important. The trenches are important. So when there were conversations in the spring about how maybe a running back right now is not the best thing for us in the first round, and a lot of y'all were attacking everybody that had a difference of opinion, you should learn now. Learn now. It's okay to have conversations. It's all right to see other points of view, to understand where we're going. Now, if a person is just completely hating on the prospect, that's different. But if we're talking about just football sense and how maybe we should go a different direction, 85% of the fan base didn't want to hear the shit. Didn't want to hear it. And now here we are. Fruits of labor, right? Fruits of labor. So that is my rant. That is my little rant. But at the end of the day, this is me saying I implore our fan base. We have to continue to have smarter conversations. Now, everybody on here, I love y'all because we actually be talking. We talk ball, right? We do it the right way. But we got to bring more people into this fucking community here that we have of people that are actually talking the game the correct way. You know what I mean? Breaking it down the correct way, bro. Having actual conversation, bro. You know what I'm saying? We up in here, bro. Some of us up in here definitely disagreed on certain things, but when it all comes down to winning and having the conversation logically on how do we get there, we gonna do that. So we got to find a way to bring people more into this community, bro, that we have here that's going to actually talk football in the logical sense, right? Because right now, I feel like it's too much of our fan base that's still on the delusional train, right? They're still on the delusional train that is not really accepting what this is. You know what I mean? There's a very, like, I just came to this reality last night when I got off the show with Pharaoh, bro. It made me very sad, right? I done had a child in the time frame in my life. Raiders still have not won. Real possibility, like, you know, my child, Baby Rundown, could go to high school, graduate, and they still haven't won. Look at Browns fans. Look how long they suffered. It's a very logical possibility that this can happen. And it depressed me. It depressed me because if it's anything else in my life, like personally, anything else that's giving me this type of stress and anxiety, I'd have dropped this motherfucker so quick. If it was anything other than this, that's just the type of motherfucker I am. If it's giving me this much anxiety, this much stress, oh, I got to drop that. I'm good. But obviously, this is until we in the ground. So we stuck. So we're stuck. You know, wifey saying, well, why can't you just get another team? You know, you got to get rid of that fucking sour look. You like, you know why. You know why. But they continuously ask, why can't you just get another team? You know fucking why. All right, we here. Portion of us like the pain. But portion of us like the pain. But it's a shame, bro, when we got to question when our loyalty will be rewarded. You know what I mean? Now, there's only one team that wins the bowl. There's only one team that wins the bowl. We're not saying that. We just want to be fucking competent. Be in the mix. And we can't even be that. We can't even be that, bro. So to all wrap it up, right? We all talked about this offensive line. The biggest problem that we have that I think, how do we solve it? And I would love to hear from y'all. What's the solution? What do we do? We're soft. We're soft. That's just the issue. And I don't know how you fix soft in a grown ass man. I don't know how you do it. There's no way. What do you do? You know what I mean? You got to slap a motherfucker for a game for him to get mad. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can really do to instill that type of, energy. And looking at quote unquote the easier part of our schedule, sure, you can look and say, oh, this is the easier part, but these D lines that we're about to face are formidable. I mean, like they got dogs on these defensive lines. This next week, right? Chicago ain't no joke, right? Chicago ain't no joke. They will find a way. They will fuck around and find a way to get pressure on this offensive line. They do have, what's his name, bro? It just escaped. Montez Sweat. They do have Montez Sweat. They do have the Booker kid, which I like. He's nice over there. Their interior's not bad. I believe we'll be seeing Billings again. They got a nice little young interior that can cause some havoc. So that's going to be fucked off. Then you look the next week, right? Is that the Titans after that? Who's after that? Yep, Titans after that. Ooh, no, wait. Either way it goes, bro. The next two games, still you're in for a dogfight because if you don't start playing well against the Bears, right? If you don't play well against the Bears, now you got to play the Colts, which they're playing well right now. So I already chalked that up as a loss. And then you got the Titans, right? And then the Titans, I know some of y'all are on the portion because they got a rookie quarterback. Like you think, okay, this should be an okay game. Their defensive line is fucking real, dog. Their defensive line has some dogs on it. They got Tavondre Sweat and they got Jeffrey Simmons and they got a multitude of dudes on the edge that they continue to rotate in and out that continue to make plays. Their defensive line is very, very formidable. Their offense needs work for sure. Their offense definitely needs work, but their defensive line, oh no, that's not the issue of their defense, 100%. So we're going against two formidable teams after this week. So that's why this week is very important, and that's why I told y'all we're gonna get into it on the rundown. But it's formidable, bro. We're going into a week that, if we don't get our shit together, if we can be spiraling, right? So let's go ahead. Let's talk about it before we get out of here. We're going to get ready to end this thing, wrap this thing up, man. Y'all already know what it is. To wrap it up, it's called the rundown, man. We're going to wrap it all up, bro. Week 3 was atrocious. Of course, we lost 41-24. Special teams gave it up. Defense gave it up. Mainly, defense was put in so many precarious positions, bro. They had to go ahead and at a certain point, we know that there's only so much talent on this defense. The dam will break at a certain point. So, there's that. But special teams was horrendous, bro. Like, we're giving up punt return after punt return after kick return. It's like nobody was covering. The physicality wasn't there. And that was a problem with the defense. But the main problem is offensively, we are soft up front. We get bullied up front. And until that changes, defenses and defensive coordinators will continue to look at that and say, we can attack them physically, right? And that in football is one of the worst things you can say, right? Worst things you can say. So I'm looking at our next couple games. This game is very important, y'all. I mean, even if we don't win this game, we got to look better than what we've looked. You know what I mean? Now, I will say it's a must win. I would love to say it's a must win, but at this point, dog, like, must wins are a non-factor to me, because every must win we put label or whatever label must win for the team, they get stomped. So we're not going to do that. Right? I don't care about must wins. It's about how do we look? What is the look of it? If we look better, sure, we have to start looking better, because this is a crucial part of our season. Cannot stress it enough. Why? Because we have supposedly the easiest part of this schedule now. Got the Bears. Now, they did just beat the Cowboys, but you know, they're wishy-washy. Then you got the Colts, right? But they're playing well. So that's going to be a game, right? That's going to be a game. The Colts are playing well. And then you got the Titans, who are not necessarily super strong right now, right? But they have a good defense. You have to start winning games, or you have to start playing better now. Because if not, I don't want anybody in here fixing your mouth to say we about to beat the Chiefs. Where? When? How? Don't even fix your mouth to say it, dog. I don't care how bad they're playing. I don't care how shitty they look. We look worse. We look worse. And by any means, their standard of shitty is definitely not ours. So let's not even do that. Let's not even make fools of ourselves. We're not winning that game. Take that out your minds now. Right? So the Chief game, you better are automatically lost. So after that, you go with the Jaguars after a bye, and now you got the stretch where you got to play playoff teams, right? You even got the Eagles in there. You know, you got the Eagles in there. We still ain't seen Denver, right? We still ain't seen Denver. We got to play the Chargers again. Got to play the Chiefs again. Right? The Texans aren't necessarily all that great right now, but like the second half of the season, bro, like you have a very real chance to get mollywopped by your own division nonetheless. So it's imperative. You got to start looking better now. You got to start winning now, because if you don't, man, I don't know where we go. I don't know where the wins come from. You know, I don't know where the wins come from. So we'll see. If they don't put JPJ in this week, you know, we might as well chalk it on up that the coaching staff is they're just maybe too stubborn for their own good. Maybe that would be the case, right? If they don't go ahead and start making changes now, I don't understand what would go down and what would prompt them to make a change. You know, we said it in the offseason when we hired Pete. We like the Pete hiring because he's not afraid to mix things up. I mean, especially in his first year with Seattle, how many transactions he had? He had hella transactions. He made hella moves. He started hella rookies, right? But so far, the philosophy has not translated here. So far, the philosophy has been play it safe. Play, you know, your guys that you like. Play the guys that you're comfortable with. And it's not translating on the field, bro. It's not translating on the field. So as of right now, man, I'm very, very worried to see how we go going forward, because we got problems in the trenches, and those problems don't just get fixed, you know, quickly. You know, that usually takes an off season. That usually takes a draft to fix these type of problems. And if we do end up with another top 10 pick, another single-digit win season where it's low, right? Where we sitting at 5 games or less, I'm with y'all, bro. It's a conversation for another day, but it's a conversation to be had that if we do end up like that, it's time to tear this thing down to the studs. And I mean the studs. Everybody has to go down to it's a sad thing to say, down to the cooks, down to the janitorial staff. I mean, shit. We're 19-24 at home. We've sucked. Some like certain things, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like we We got to change. Something has to change. And if we have another season where we have 4 wins again, 5 wins, yeah, bro, it's got to get tore down to the studs. And we got to damn near rebrand. So that's where I'm at. But that's a conversation for another day. That's a conversation for a later date. Because if we have that conversation, that's at the end of the season. And yeah, it's another rant for another day. So we'll save that. But until then, man, y'all already know the deal, man. Make sure you guys tapping in with the like button, with the subscribe button if it is your first time here, man. I appreciate everybody that is tapping in, man. Rough one, of course. We lose again 41-24. Hopefully we can bounce back this week. But as y'all know, man, make sure you guys are tapping in on Wednesday. We have our solo show. The rundown is back 6 o'clock Pacific time. We'll be talking about our showdown with the Bears. How can we win? What's the deal? How can we bounce back? Let's hope we do, right? Maybe you will get some blunts and breakdown. You will get some content later. So make sure y'all tune in for that a little bit. Y'all already know the deal. Till then, man, I'm about to go buy me some food, give me some food, get my mind off this goddamn team, as y'all should, man. Kick your feet up, chill with the family, man. Get your mind off this team, man. Shit, again, they ain't doing their job, but don't mean we can't do ours. We can't find happiness within our day. So y'all do you, man. So till then, y'all already know what I say all the time, man. We keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown. Much love. Keep doing y'all thing, and I'm going to see y'all next time. Till then, peace.